Alt season has been whispering in the background for months now. And with a typical September slump nearly behind us, the stage is set for fireworks. The Fed just pulled the trigger on a 25 basis point rate cut, making money cheaper to borrow. And that could be the final catalyst that pushes this bull market into a full-blown on parabolic price surge. We might even be watching the 4-year cycle transcend into something bigger, maybe even a forever market. So whether this is your first time hearing the phrase alt season, or you're a seasoned vet trying to nail the top, grab a pen and pad, because this video is about to flip how you think about alt season. You're now entering the crux of crypto. Hey guys, Crux here. Welcome to the ultimate pit stop for Web3 wisdom. Smash that like for Pup Tux, who's been howling at the moon waiting for alt season. First, let's set the record straight. Alt season kicks off when Bitcoin starts losing dominance and the spotlight shifts to the rest of the market. Why? Because altcoins have a much smaller market cap, meaning it takes way less capital to send them flying compared to Bitcoin. And here's where it gets fun. Alt season isn't just one big wave. It happens in phases, starting with phase 1, Bitcoin flowing into Ethereum. Phase 2 is when Ethereum flows into the large caps like Solana and XRP, which tends to outrun Ethereum. Phase 3, once hype builds, attention trickles down into the mid caps. Projects like Ondo Finance and Caspa start stealing the show. And if we're lucky enough to hit phase 4, that's when low caps and hidden gems ignite the show. They show the true potential of alt season. That's the moment when the market turns to pure chaos. So buckle up. You might be wondering, where does all this fresh liquidity actually come from? Well, it's not just Bitcoin. In fact, alt season thrives when Bitcoin is consolidating, holding steady, and giving room for everything else to run. It's not about traders dumping their Bitcoin for alts. It's about new money on the sideline flooding into these projects. So, how do we track the liquidity? First stop, stablecoins. Their growth has exploded ever since the Clarity Act and the Genius Act gave institutions and banks the green light to step deeper into crypto. Then there's gold, the traditional safe haven. It's been printing all-time high after all-time high. But with lower interest rates shifting momentum back towards risk-on markets like crypto, don't be surprised when some of that gold profit taking finds its way into the digital assets. And not every altcoin pumps the same. This is not 2017 anymore, where you could throw your fiat at any project and watch it moon. In 2025, with millions of cryptos out there, you've got to be sharp and selective if you want to see the maximum returns. A free market is great, but it creates intense competition. Instead of everyone piling into a handful of projects, the capital gets spread thin, meaning if you pick the wrong plays, you risk falling behind. And that's where opportunity cost comes in. Opportunity cost is what you give up by choosing one option over another. In crypto terms, if you park your money in a coin that underperforms, you're not just losing potential profits. You're missing out on the gains you could have made in a better project. One of the lessons I teach inside the academy: don't just chase random coins. Find the breakout niches. Whether it's artificial intelligence, real-world assets, DePIN, or DeFi, there are countless use cases driving crypto forward. But when you dive into areas like decentralized science, AI agents, or even gaming, you're stepping into unproven territory. And that is where the high-risk, high-reward opportunities live. The key is balancing your portfolio by niche. Take AI, for example. I usually recommend about 10% allocation spread across different verticals. Large language models like Tau, cloud compute like Render, and even AI agents like Virtuals. For gaming, which is still recovering from its 2021 hype cycle, a much smaller allocation, say 5% into projects like Beam or Superverse, makes sense. Now, this is how you get ready for alt season. And honestly, the prep work should already be in motion, because ever since Bitcoin's dominance slipped from 65% down to 55%, we've technically been in a slow burn alt season. Here's your warning. Don't just rush to shuffle your portfolio after you watch this video. Step 1 is setting a goal. Ask yourself, what do I want out of alt season? Is it a 3x? Is it a 5x? A gold rule to note: the bigger multiple you're chasing, the more risk you need to take on. Remember, if this is your first cycle, sticking with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Chainlink, it's perfectly fine. The real lesson early on isn't about maximizing profits. It's about controlling your emotions when the market's tanked and your portfolio starts to bleed red. Once you've mastered that emotional game, that's when you can push further into the mid and the low caps to chase the higher multiples. That's where the gem hunters come in. We've just called our fourth play out of 17 to 2x in under 48 hours after the buy call. Insane. We've got 3 memberships, each one giving you daily live Q&As for real-time answers. Check out the gem watch list where tomorrow's winners show up today. Our VIP trading group has over 480 traders, still locking in gains even when the markets dip. Our academy has been setting up people for success. Your crash course into mastering research, trading, and even one-on-one portfolio audits. I've already helped out over 190 members, walking them through exactly how I approach the markets, what I would look for in their shoes, and how I'd personally manage the risk. It's not financial advice, just the exact playbook I use to win in these markets. And on September 22nd, the prices rise, so get grandfathered in at the current rates. More details in the description below. All right, let's get back to navigating alt season.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
The most important part of alt season, it's not the hype. It's sticking to the plan and knowing when to rotate back into Bitcoin and stablecoins. One of my favorite tools, the Fear and Greed Index. It tracks social sentiment across crypto, and history shows it rarely lies. When we hit extreme greed for over a week, that's usually a sign that alt season is either cooling down or it's wrapping up. Now, when it comes to taking profits, strategies vary. Some people ladder out, selling 25% at a 2x, 25% at a 3x, all the way down until they're fully out around 5x. Others, like me, prefer the bulk approach. I load up heavy in bearish periods, then I unload in one big move when I think the top is in. Risky? Absolutely. But this cycle, it's paid off far better for me than slow DCA selling. And remember, make sure you're subscribed because when I see that greed signal flash, you'll be the first to know. Thanks for sticking with me until the end. Now, I want to hear from you. What is your take profit strategy this alt season? Drop your take in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, hit me with the follow on X, and join our free Discord server. Catch my live stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. Also, check out my Avalanche versus Sui video. I just dropped it. And set up your alerts now because I'll be dropping my next video in just a few days. Check out the Sui versus Avalanche video right here. I know you'll enjoy it. And here's another video you don't want to miss. Click one of these to dive deeper into the crux of crypto.